Well, hello YouTube. My name is Andrew and welcome to my desktop. This is where we'll be creating mini games. That's the idea of this channel anyway. I would like to work with you guys, teach you what I know, and work together to make a game ultimately. But for now, we will just start with something really simple. All we're going to do today is just a little bit of stuff about movement, just to introduce you beginners to the game maker environment and coding, and we're going to just learn how to use some variables, all that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll just call this one variable and movement. Alright, so there we go. We just, right when we hit new and type in what we want to name our file, it creates this integrated development environment for us to work in. And so the first thing we do is create a sprite. We're going to assign the sprite, which is an image, to an object. So that way, whenever you have the object act out, you can see it in the room. Like if you create a room and put an object in there and the object isn't assigned a sprite, then you're not going to see anything. So in order to have your object look like something, you have to create a sprite. So we'll just create a sprite SPR player. A lot of people like to use the underscore method whenever they are naming things. I personally am in favor of what's known as camel case. So SPR player. Edit sprite. Let's create a new one. We're just going to make it 32 by 32. Keep it simple. Use this little magnifying glass to blow it up a little bit. We're just going to dark green, light green. Shows this little square over here. Then we're just going to, just like that. Boom. Now we've got a little square. So the way I did that, I just right click on sprite and hit create sprite. Now let's go ahead and create an object, same way. We'll go ahead and name it the same thing, but instead of SPR player, we'll start OBJ player. Now whenever we're typing in our code, we know the difference between the sprite and the object. So we've got object player, and we'll assign it the sprite of SPR player. Now let's go ahead and add an event, and we're going to hit step, and just a regular step. And what this does is this event is being called every step of the game. Like let's say that the speed of your room, you can assign it whenever you create a room. Let's say the speed is 30. That means that there are 30 steps that happen in every second. So we'll take, if under this side over here, we're not going to use any of the drag and drop commands. We're going to skip all of them, go straight to control, and drag the code part, the one farthest on the left, drag it on there. And now we get to type code into our step event. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a few variables. We're going to have key left, and we're going to set that equal to something here in a second. Key right, key up, and key down. And you can name these variables whatever you want. I'm creating these variables from scratch. Just because they have this name doesn't mean they are assigned a certain functionality or anything like that. So you can name them watermelon, elephants, butts, whatever you want. But you want to name it something that is going to make sense to you and why you named it that. So you can probably tell by these their value is going to correspond with whether I push the left key, right key, up key, or down key. And the way we do that is we assign it a function that's already built into GameMaker. So we'll put keyboard press, or sorry, keyboard check VK left. And I'm going to copy that, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, and then just change these to the corresponding direction, right, up, down. Okay, so now VK left, VK right, VK up, and VK down are just values that correspond to the arrow keys on your keyboard. You have VK shift, VK space, all these things. If you want to assign it a letter, it's a little bit different, and we can go over that some other time. You use the ORD function, and you would put so now that right there is whenever W, that's assigned to the key W. So that's how you would do that instead of VK something. So now we have left, right, up, down. And so now whenever I press left, every step it's going to check if left is being pressed. And if it is, keyboard check is going to return the value of 1. And if not, it'll return 0. So we're going to put if key left, then x minus equals we'll just say 4, and then we'll just copy that and hit Control V, Control V, Control V, and change these to all the different ones. We got right, up, oops, and it is case sensitive, so down. Okay, so now we've got, so when we hit right, we want to make sure that, so if key right equals 1, then it applies this action here, x plus equals 4. And plus equals just means that it takes the current x of your object and adds the value 4 to it. It's the same as if I were to say x equals x plus 4. And then now for up and down, we're going to change the y. And the way the y works in Game Maker is the origin is in the top left. So 0, 0 is in the top left. And as you go down, y increases. And as you go right, x increases. So if we're going down, we want to make it positive. And if we're going up, we're going to make it negative. So now, what we're going to do is we're just going to make a room real quick. Takes 2 seconds, create a room, boom, done. We're already on the object screen. We put our object in there. And now we're going to save it and run it. Okay, so now when I push left, I'll go left. When I go right, I go right. Up, up, down, down. Perfect. Fantastic. So it works just the way I intended it to. Now, one more thing. Okay, see, when I put 4 in here, that means I hard-coded those numbers in there. And if I want to change the speed that I move at, that means I have to go in here and change every single one of these to a different value. Or if maybe my up and down moves at a different speed than my left and right, I have to go in here and change every single one of those. So what we can do to change that is make a create event. So when an object player is first created, we're going to create another control code thing here, and we're going to assign a move speed to our player. We're going to just name the variable move speed, just like that. We can name it whatever we want, but this makes sense, so we're going to do it this way. Move speed equals 4. Now we're just going to hit move speed, whoops, move speed, move speed, and move speed, just like that. And now whatever move speed is set to, it'll create this. So let's go ahead and make sure it works. Alright, right, yep, works just like it did before. Down, up, perfect. Alright, and so that's how you make very, very basic movement. There's set speeds. We can eventually get to the point where you accelerate as you press the right button, and maybe you can only accelerate so much. We can add some gravity to make it to where you can jump off of some ground, or but eventually the next one's probably going to be something about walls and collisions and all that stuff. But all these things are building blocks, and as we gather these building blocks, we can make an entire game. And that's what I want to do with all the people who decide to come and watch this. I want to get something going to where we can collaborate as a team and put something together. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.